Hello, friends. Hello, self lovers. Welcome to another live here on Conversations with the Love Activist. So, today is going to be it's always strange, it's always weird, it's always conversations with a love activist. So, as a way of introduction, today I'll be having a very, very important person coming alive with me, Kutlwano, which you guys have heard about countlessly over the years. And she's the one who's like, Joiner, today I have to join you because we went through, we were snatched. Like, I've spoken about being snatched before. We have never been snatched to these levels of snatchment in our lives. Like, I even to the levels where I had to go find my diaries from 2014, from a decade ago. Like, that's how deep the snatchment that happened to us on Friday, which was Luna. There was something Luna, because I was out and about, which is never the case. And the moon was huge and orange. So, Kutlana, you'll tell us about that. So, let me. How do I do the mathematics? While Kutlano comes online or on board. Yes, there. Oh, wow. Beck, working with us for once.
I know, right? It's usually just like a stop and start for 10 minutes. And then, but this
Woo,
time it was
I
just
love her.
like,
I love the hair. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. I love it. I love it. I love it. Oh my god, she looks like such a cutie. I love it.
thank you
I'm
so
for it.
much. Thank you so much.
So welcome to Conversations with a Love Activist. This is so crazy. I can't believe this actually. Yeah, Nesbit, Tandizito, as usual.
Hmm.
So just to give you guys a little bit of context about where the triggerment started. Yeah. Started on Monday. So Monday, am I correct? Monday we were
Yes,
having our, when did we have our first strategy meeting?
Monday.
Yes. So sorry, Kutrano is my business partner at Rainbow. So we're having our strategy meeting for 2024, but it's 2020. So how are we going to sound like a Sora in 2024? Um, and just a little bit about what happened just in that first session, because that's where the trickles of the triggerment started.
What are we doing? We're trying to be businessy.
Yes, of course.
We're trying to be formal and okay, cool. Now, the goals, the business, the new year. The new financial year, what are the plans? And it was not
Our strategy from last year.
right. So we
Yeah.
started looking at 2023. I'm sure many small, medium, big businesses are doing that at the moment. Just doing a checklist of like, what did we achieve in 2023 that we said we wanted to do, and so forth. But they kept being, I think, between you and I, that there's something deeper than just the business fundamental things that we think we're here to talk about. And in actual fact, when we were putting together the appointment, we started talking about personal medicine. And because
Mm-hmm.
you and I, on an individual level, are personally grappling with how can I use the medicine or the things that already give me peace to heal things that I feel maybe are overwhelming me, or things that are coming back again, or sadness, depression, whatever it is. How can I use what is available inside of me to heal me, which is personal medicine? And you've spoken about it, I think, a lot on the channel. That a lot of these solutions that we need, we already can activate them from within. So then we're like, okay, let's also think about the personal medicine that Brainbow not only gives us as a business because we enjoy doing our business, but we also use it in the business to grow the business as well, right? So I think already from that phone call, we're like starting to think of the business more as not just a checklist, but what can this business actually emotionally and spiritually achieve for us, because we want to profit even emotionally from our business, not just financially.
Mm-hmm.
And so Monday came and we were like, you know what, as we're looking through the line items of 2023, and actually we achieved quite a bit of what was on that list, or at least made good strides towards what was on that list. Actually, when we looked at it together, we're like, okay, we are well done, girls. You know, it may not be the results that we were expecting at the end of the year, but we actually did a lot.
Quite a lot. And also, sorry, also mentioned and forgot the things, the spiritual side of things were already in that strategy as well.
100%, because at Brainbow, you know, the entity that is Brainbow is not just here to, you know, just be a business as usual business. It is a business that's infused with spirituality. It's a business that's infused with love. It's a business that is infused with Ubuntu. So we also have to always look at that side of our business, because our business is about oneness. And oneness cannot just be mechanical. There's also the spiritual part of oneness that you must meditate on. And yes,
Yeah.
shout out my current, because it's like, oh, you want to talk about love in business? Let's do it. And on a personal level, I had been kind of looking at in 2023 my personal narrative, my personal belief system. What do I believe about myself? And I think we've shared this quite intensely. And figuring out that, you know, sometimes having a negative storyline about yourself, you start to see the fruits of it in everything you do and in every relationship you're in. And for me, the relationship side of my life, it's starting to show up, right? What you think about yourself bears fruits in relationships. And then I sort of started talking about, like, okay, so that means that this personal story of mine must be playing a role in Brainbow, right? This thing of I'm defective, or I'm
What the storyline that you discovered in your personal narrative is?
yeah. So the storyline I discovered, to really distill it and make it simple for my brain, is that because something bad happened to me, I am something bad. And this just leaves you with a problem with feeling like you have a deficit, like there's something intangibly wrong about your presence here on earth. And somehow that victimhood feels, you know, it feels,
Real.
yeah, this is true. All
Yeah.
these things have happened. I have evidence of all these things happening to me and those that I love. So something must be wrong with this Kutlano thing that I'm in. And understanding that, okay, that thing can't happen in a silo. It's going to affect your business. It's going to affect the very directive that Brainbow is teaching us, that I'm here to foster oneness. It's going to be anti-oneness because you don't want to believe that you are the divine. You are divinely here for a purpose. You are
Not defective.
not defective, because if you say you are defective, then you are saying that the gems that the creator has put inside of you are defective. And that now is something that I think you and I both started to look at, even in context of the business, is does this
Especially,
thing of us wanting to belong, wanting to be business as usual, or to fall into some kind of
tried and
box,
tested.
exact
Yes.
thing, you know, is there seeds of our defective storyline that we keep picking up right? And trying to defend or trying to say, you know, it makes us so meek and mild and likable, and you know,
Right.
people just, could that be an issue? Could that be why we're not seeing business growth in all sense of the word growth? And I think then we started to look at, actually, then what is this thing, this belonging wound about? Because as you said in your last live, I had a conversation with my dad around what I think is happening around the business, and picking up that, you know, Kutlwano's in a belonging business because she has a belonging issue.
Mhm.
And so if I am to try and heal people about the belonging wound, of course the universe will be kind enough to say, let's deal with your belonging wound also.
Before I send you to my children. Whoa,
Right.
wait.
And that thing on Monday, we were like, okay, I think that we need to investigate on the business belief system that is informed by our different personal narratives.
And now, mind you guys, just to give you a little bit of context, we've been doing Brainbow since 2010. Yeah? 2010. Yeah.
Yes,
So,
2010.
yeah. So it's like this is our 14th year in business. Okay. Number one. Number two, in the process of being in business, we've experienced quite a few turbulent times where we developed a financial wounding or trauma around finances. We folded ourselves in a way that was very unhealthy and magnetized to ourselves clients and partners that really were not healthy or were there for the growth of the business. And I use the word magnetized because we and me and Kutlano, there was a bit of a trauma bonding thing that happened also between the two of us, because we both had parents that had, you know, very successful businesses, and we watched all of that fall apart. And hi Sivu, compliments of the new year. Watch all of that fall apart, and that cemented that experience of going from abundance to we don't know where our next meal is coming from. There's no lights, there's no electricity, you're living with rats and cockroaches. Cemented itself in our cellular body in a way
Mm-hmm.
that attracted us to each other at film school, because that experience kind of continued in film school. And then also we took those narratives into our business. Then confirming people basically came into our lives to confirm, the thing we believed as truth, this defective story that we kind of picked up along the way.
Mm-hmm.
So last year, November, we did our incarnation objective reading with Ugogo Retendo. And it
2022
was it
even. Can you
22.
imagine?
Yeah,
Yes.
because this is not 2023, this is 2024. So yes, so at the end of 2022, we did our incarnation objective reading with Ugogo Rutendo. And an incarnation objective reading is basically what is the blueprint that this entity has emerged with. It's
Mm-hmm.
what midwives used to do when a child is born, to say, okay, this is the blueprint, this is the contribution this child wants to make in the community. And so you can do that with an entity, because an entity is akin to, it has a do, it has a life force basically. So it can also have an incarnation objective reading. So even though we have all this incredible information from our incarnation objective reading about
Mm-hmm.
how, yeah, we are here to bring sagacity, sagehood
Stagehood.
into, yeah, sagehood into this time-space reality, that we are gobelas, that we initiate people into love, basically into Ubuntu. That is our job. And Ugogo doesn't know our business. Literally, it's higher oracles reconfirming what Rainbow is about. Anyway, we have all that information. We tried our best though to carry it into 2023.
Mm-hmm.
Like some of the things we did in our strategy was that we want to bring ububele, we want to experience nourishment and breastfeeding and all these things that shouldn't be on a strategy document were in our document, right?
Mm-hmm.
But okay, now let's fast forward to on Friday. So on
Mm-hmm.
Friday, we're like, okay, we need to do a part two because we only touched on the hem of the garment. And our intention was that on Friday, in fact, on Monday, the intention was that we were going to do Birthright, which is a documentary that we're working on. And Kutlana at the time was doing a application for
Mm-hmm.
Birthright, and then we'll continue with the rest of the strategy session. But then something happened while you were trying to do the application, which
Right.
is extremely important. Tell us about what happened.
Right. So I actually like the fact that you touched on the point and looked back on Brainbow, giving everybody this kind of 14-year lens, because when you started the conversation, you spoke about astrological things. And me, because I realized that this week just felt a little bit hectic, or it felt like it needed more of my energy and attention, understood that astrologers, I'm not an astrologist, but I'm very, very, very supportive and passionate about African astrology.
Best.
So, yes. So, um, overall, Aquarius is entering into Pluto. So that song, The Age of Aquarius, we are in it right now. And we are in the tick tock of it, right? So on Friday and on Saturday, it was the last time that it was in Capricorn, that Pluto, which is a slow moving planet, when it does come in, it brings in evolution, revolution. It brings in innovation, right? It takes it 20 something years for it to make a full lunar cycle around a star system. So it has now done that amount of time, and it's ready to switch and into Aquarius, and other planets are going into Aquarius as well. And anybody who has the delight of having an Aquarian in their lives understands that those are the most innovative, future savvy, future for solution creators. I know, I was raised by one. And they force you to think of things differently. And with Saturday, yesterday being Pluto in Aquarius for a little bit before it's going to be in this till 2044. And the last time that it was in this house specifically, it was the French Revolution. It was the U.S. Historical revolutions there. The world kind of changed. And I like that you touch on our history, because there has been, or there is, an evolution that is happening in the way that we do business and we see ourselves. And so I am trying to use an old paradigm to fill out this application, Lord. This application, by the way, that has been opened for a month and a half, but I decide 10 days before that I'm going to productivity my way into entering this development program, because everyone I know has done that and their things are successful according to me. And I'm going to just join Ibandla, I mean. I am struggling to piece this thing together. By the way, we have a lot of information. I'm not starting from scratch. There are things we've applied for. There are things we've done. There are notes all over. I
It's a
can do
5 year,
this. Right.
6 year journey at this point.
I can do this.
Information that we have.
But I just cannot finish up. I'm all over the place. And I, on a phone call with Kule, had a breakdown realizing why I can't, because I've been asking myself, why are you doing this? Why is it so hard for you to complete this and meet your milestones? And the overwhelming thing was, not only that does that personal story of being defective also play a role in me doing things on time or not procrastinating, or because I already believe that this thing's not going to work out. This thing called Birthright that you guys gave to us has been rejected 3-4 times. And what makes me think that now is going to work? That's the thought process at the back. And I realized then that, okay, 2024 to me is about rediscovering this new narrative. I have deleted and destroyed that old one. I don't want it anymore. I don't want it going into the age of Aquarius. I'm not entering with this story that I am defective. I refuse to take it. But I also refuse to make up a new one based on my old thinking. So I'm going to allow you, ancestors, I'm going to allow you, Holy Spirit, to show me this new narrative. And I realized how naive I was about rebuilding this narrative for myself. And it's going to need a lot more self-care, self-awareness, gentleness. It's going to need a whole lot more of honesty and integrity from me to realize that I cannot use what Brainbow has been using since 2010 to finish this application, to send this in, to feel like I have worth or my ideas have worth. I cannot use that thinking because it's based on that defective story. And so I actually need to slow down the productivity so that I can be part of this process I've asked for. I have asked for the universe to download a new blueprint that is for my joy, that satisfies my mind, body, and soul. And I need to allow that, and not allowing that to unfold the way it has to is pride. Now, those of you that grown up Christian, if you're Christian like Kuda and I grew up, like you were in church at least 4 times a week, ne? There was different things. You're cleaning the church, the meetings of the mothers, children's choir, Sunday school prep, then what? Sunday. Listen, prayer sessions. If you know church, I've heard this word pride, and that God detests pride. In my mind, pride is, I feel like I'm better than everybody else. I feel like I'm just this person who look at me only. I'm selfish. I'm all these things.
Self-centered.
I didn't self-centered. Ooh, why good like this girl? You know, she's just feeling herself way too much. That to me is pride, and it's not.
And I'm gonna put a pin there, because then after this conversation where you're like, look, I want to put down the productivity thing. I'm not going to push through and do the application, which was due yesterday. Yeah. And I was, I was like, don't do it, because we're just gonna create the same regurgitated experience of rejection, because at the back is already, we want the application to affirm us instead of being affirmed and just gifting this program with our idea and with our joy and with our gifts and talents. So now we're at part 2 of the strategy session. So we're not going to do birthright, right? Because birthright now, we're putting it down for a little bit until we can be at the right frequency, so that we're not touching and destroying and building with one hand and destroying with one hand, like we've been doing for the past 14 years. So God says to me, in that phone call, actually, I don't know which one of us say, but I think Funega sends it, Artist Way. I think it's you who says something. You throw Artist Way in the wind, and we're like, So if you've ever heard of Artist Way is a 12-week program in creative healing. It's a spiritual program, even though at the time you're not doing it for that. You're doing it for productivity. So we had done Artist Way, and I looked into my journal. I thought I did it in 2014. I actually started it in 2013.
Wow.
2013. And on I think it's week 10, where you deal with your finances. The thing I call week 10. I can't get past week 10. So we were having this discussion because me and Kutlwano both triggered at week 10.
Same point.
So yes, at the same point. Mind you, these are people who are at that time were going through a lot of financial trauma business-wise. Right. So we're like, okay, if we're gonna be talking about using our personal, profiting from our personal medicine for once in our lives, let's go back to the things that we've been too afraid to touch, like the artist's way.
Mm-hmm.
So um, in preparing for Friday, I listened to Julie Campbell, who has written The Artist's Way, and literally The Artist's Way came from her own creative wounding. She was a successful script writer in Hollywood through literally cocaine and alcohol, and she was now newly sober, and she's like, I can't create like that anymore. What am I gonna do?
Yeah.
Oh my god. I'm stuck. And she receives this book of prayers which talks about, creativity coming from a source energy. And from that experience with this small little book of prayers, she's not a Christian or anything, from this book of prayers to a creative force, the artist's way starts to emerge in her experience. One of the things that she says is that I want to create from a place. There's a poem that says, I want to create like the green fuse that fuels the flower. The flower doesn't have to tabalaza to become a flower. There's an internal force that is emerging each part of the stem, each part of the leaf, each part of the petal, So, okay, so now Kutlando is now at my house. The Lord says we mustn't take out laptops. We must paint. We must paint. That's what we're gonna do. That's how this new strategy, this new way of being is going to emerge. Because we can't use all things in trying to birth something new. Right. So now we are painting Nukutran. And so we ask ourselves, what are we painting? We're painting what we would like to experience in 2024. So I say I'd like to experience a childlikeness in my orientation to life. Umtana doesn't, when I say to Malibongwe, Mali, I'm going to get you an iPad. Mali gets excited, period. She doesn't go, but then 2 weeks ago, you said you were going to get me a sweet and you didn't. And so I'm going to trust that when you're going to deliver, it's dragging. And then when I was 3, you side-eyed me, Mom. And so, based on the evidence I've collected, you are not trustworthy. So my thing was, because I don't know what is emerging, I want to have the faith of a child that whatever is going to emerge is going to be good. It's going to be for boy. It's going to be delicious. It's without beating tragedy to the punch, without getting to the disappointment and then being surprised when I'm disappointed, when I created the disappointment with my focus on the possibility of disappointment. Right. So I start to paint that childlike orientation that I want. What do you say, Wanakutlano? What do you want to see in 2024? What did you say you wanted to paint into 2024?
I don't know. Do we show the picture now?
Oh, yes, we can. We can.
Ooh, so colorful. So nice. So I got really excited about the green fuse. I got really excited about the allowing that the life force inside of a seed has, right? And that it does not question that its potential is for good. And I now know that whatever personal narrative that I'm going to co-create with God has to have this at the base. It has to have this sense of allowing the life that God has put in me to push through and to grow something humongous, something that fills up the space, something that, if you can see the cracks, that flows into other parts of the soil, that just keeps nourishing and keeps giving. And I don't know what that narrative will become, but I know the bedrock of it is that I allow the gifts, the things that are inside the seed, to give me exactly what I desire, to satisfy my mind, body, and soul.
And about a little bit about the watercolor situation when I took out
Yes,
the
and I
watercolor.
had realized in the session that I hadn't painted or used watercolors since I was like 11, 12, around there. My aunt had bought me the 24-piece Stedler, with the paint brushes, because she saw that you're quite artistic and you express yourself. And I had never opened another palette again since then. It is a long, long, long time ago. And as I was painting, something was cracking open in me. Something was cracking open, but also confirming this notion of it being prideful to not allow your talents and your expression to occupy space, to radiate through you and do God's bidding. That if you carry around this thing that I'm not allowed to paint, certain people, for instance, are allowed to have the fun and the innocence of painting, that I'm not allowed to have the childlike joy that you are describing, Tools, that it's for other people to have that kind of unrelenting, unsuspicious love. That my one, because I'm defective, is always kind of not going to be all the way joyful for me specifically. And that it cheats so much of what God has for me and then cheats the world. Then the world and I cannot profit from this medicine. And I couldn't believe it had been that many years since I had put paint to paper. It's crazy. Even the sound of it is crazy.
And
But I
speak about
realized in that moment.
or your niece,
Oh,
your cousin.
yes. Then, I shared with Kula that I have a niece who's extreme, like she's got a designer brain, since she was a little girl. And that her room always looks like a workshop. It looks like an artist's workshop. There's always paper mache and scissors and glues and all sorts of things everywhere. And how shameful I feel around that environment, because there is that part of myself that is exactly like the blood that flows through this child. And the fact that I've closed the door to that with this narrative of mine, it hurts me, and I'm afraid to confront it. So lots of shame around there, just going, oh my God, this is the thing I don't like, is because I have closed the door to the gifts that God has given me. And I'm ingesting that lie. And of course, it doesn't feel good. Of course, it's going to make me sick. Of course, it's going to make me feel shame and carry the shame in my body, because it's a lie. You're ingesting a lie. It's not who you are. So that opens up this thing about pride and arrogance, that actually to live in your full integrity means that you absolutely yield like the green fuse to the flower that you are becoming. You do not refuse as the seed or mistrust God's plan for the seed. You yield to it and allow that green electricity, that life force, to become what it is to become, because it's all for the higher good of the cosmos, everything, universe, everything, every inch of everything that is. And you rob that process and you walk around feeling robbed, and it's making you ill. It's robbing your life.
And that is
And you
pride. The
and
refusal
that is pride.
to
That
recognize yourself
refusal.
as who and what God said you are, the magnificence, the outrageous joy that you are made of. If you refuse to recognize that is actually what pride is. That you have the audacity to believe that you can live without love, that you can live without a life that has no joy, that has joy in it, that you unesibindi to believe wena ungavesi kuziphilele nje apha emhlabeni, a life that is devoid of the joy you said you are going to experience in this time space reality. That is arrogance in its highest form.
And we were shooketh that I've been this arrogant for this long, thinking that I do not deserve the connection that play gives me, thinking that I do not deserve the interrelatedness and the interdependency on God. Me, I don't need it. Every single thing on this cosmos needs it, except little old Kutlwano in the middle of South Africa doesn't need it. Really? And I understood why biblically you read that God hates pride more than anything else. And then I understood, because pride, the only thing that it does is amplify that you are separated from the divine. And that separation is so, I don't even know if there's in a speed. Because how can you be separated from something that you are? It's madness. It's madness.
I mean, now when we now read this back, what I read last week about Rumi, it changed everything. But your depression is connected to your insolence and your refusal to praise. Whomever feels himself walking on a path and refuses to praise, that person steals from others every day, is a shoplifter. Before, and I said to you guys that I was still unpacking this, but now with this new revelation of what pride actually is, right? That pride actually does result in depression because you feel so isolated. You've convinced yourself that you can be separated from the thing that makes trees, that takes a seed and makes it into a mighty oak tree. When you believe that you can be separated from that same energy that fuels the cosmos. And so of course the symptom is going to be depression. Of course, it can never be. And that refusal to praise, you praise because you understand how incredible life is. So this conversation then took us to, I don't know how we circled back to the artist way, that actually in when I did the artist way, right? And at the time I was doing it to rescue myself from financial ruin that I believed I was in at Rainbow. And so I was desperate. I was trying everything. I was reading through my journals. Like, I was churching. I was reading.
Everything, Baba. Everything.
Everything. But mind you, the base belief is I'm defective. So whatever I'm trying, it's not going to do anything. Anyway, doing the artist way, Course in Miracles, the Enza Zonke. And we realized that even when a miracle happens, you can't even recognize it because the pride is taking up so much space. I didn't realize that. I've realized it, but I didn't realize it to this extent, that I'm actually physically living the miracles that I've been asking for. 14, when I had started the Artist Way, my thing was I want a family, right? At the back, but it was a desire I didn't think was possible. So I thought I can focus on the business one because I just work hard and then eventually it's a pauper, right? Whereas in this one, it's like impossible. It's impossible. Like, it's so impossible. And yet there we were 10 years later, sitting in my house with my husband that I've been with since 2014.
Right.
But I didn't even recognize that I've been living in a miracle this entire time, because now I gauge miracles with end of the month money in my bank.
Right.
If it's money in my bank, then it doesn't qualify as a miracle. That my life can only be qualified by money in the bank. Oh.
That's a very, very small life.
In fact, the reason why we got here is from what you had said in your yearbook. Please share with us. That's how we actually got to. We're in the miracle, but because in pride,
we can't
even see
it.
miracle.
And I think the whole week, the Holy Spirit and the ancestors were trying to lead me to this picture of myself at 17. And in matric you write a little bit of a blurb about your dreams and what you want to do and then they list your achievements. And my one was, I want to be this movie director, I want to change perceptions, I
Yes,
want to
I, I
change
need,
the world
I
at
need
the
you to go.
click.
Sorry, we need to physically see it because they'll think we're making it up. They'll think we're making it
It's
up.
so far away. It's so far away. It's back in box
Oh,
proof. It's so far away.
never mind. Never you mind.
But it's like 3 sentences. I think I said I want to be a movie director. I want to change perceptions in the world, and I want by perceptions in the world by the click of my camera and the command of my voice. And I said to Kula, you know what's so funny is that if I were to sit next to that 17-year-old and she would look at what I've achieved in my life and that I am telling stories, which was the thing I wanted to do. I am changing perceptions. I mean, one of Brainbow's visions and missions is that to create psychologically safe spaces for every type of body. I mean, that is a perception changer, vision, and mission statement. And I'm doing that and profiting from it, able to build a home, sustain a life from it. Something that at 17, I thought I was just going to work for somebody. It wasn't even in my brain that I was going to own a business. I just thought I'll go with the perception
Yes,
changes. As long as I
I'll go
get a job
full
and money at the end of the month. Money at the end of the month. And then I said, well, I'm living it. That girl would be like, girl, you did
did
the
it.
thing.
Did it.
What? You did the thing. We are here. It's happening right. You have a family. You have a business that does exactly what you said at 17. What are you miserable about? What
I'm
is,
lost. I'm lost. I'm lost.
what are you doing? And the pride, the foggy heaviness, blinding thing about pride, about saying that God, I am going to hold on to this story of victimhood and I'm not going to see the real story of victory that I have.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to be arrogant enough to think you don't have to show me, God. You're lying to me. You always lie to me.
Always
You,
and never.
I mean, that is just, now I'm a parent and understanding my creator as my parent. That is like ngizokushaya, ungijwayela ngizokushaya. You think I started doing this whole thing just to diminish you? I wasted the creator doesn't think like that. That's human. That's me projecting my human brain. But do I really think that a life force that would recreate itself as my personality, as me, in different space-time continuums would do that because give mistake?
Oh, I'm cruel. I'm bored. God, I'm so bored that the only joy I can find is by setting Kutlano and Kuda's life on
Right.
fire every single day.
Yeah. No.
And like the gaslighting.
And I'm
And
not
that's the
special enough for that. I'm
huh?
not. I am of the divine. I'm not special enough. I'm not this like,
Yes,
out of everyone in
yes,
humanity, God hates me. No, no, honey, fall back. Let your pride aside and be in the love train like every one of us. Calm
right.
down. Calm
Pump your
down.
brakes.
Calm down.
Pump your brakes. Right. Silent. Silent.
And that with what is happening astrologically is so divine, is so on time, because Pluto is giving us one last chance this year to look back at what's not working and to make a clear and concise decision that the next 20 years until 2044, what am I committed to? Because as the world is going to change, it's changing right now. We're at the brink of different things that are popping off. And
We
your
know. We all
belief system, I mean, we all know no one can look away at their screens or the TV or the radio. It's there. And the question then, the love-filled question is, what are you going to choose? The power is yours. You have our power. What are you going to choose?
A big one that we also realized in the flip side of pride then has to be humility. And what is humility then? Like, then we had no understanding of what humility is. And in fact, we realized that humility is surrender. It's the
Yes.
thing that the child exhibits to say, if I say to the daddy who says they love me that, ooh, I want to experience this, and they say, yes, I will deliver, you surrender that will be delivered. You don't
Exactly.
think, let
Exactly.
me do a plan B
Exactly.
because I know that I'm going to be disappointed. And so, actually, let me lower my expectation. I don't want to go to Gold Drift City anymore. A little lollipop. Can I have a lollipop? I know that if you don't deliver on a lollipop, I can buy myself a lollipop, so it's fine.
I think that is shocking. And that ukuzithoba, ukuzithanda,
Yes.
right? So there's this thing about ukuzithanda being the real pride and the arrogance. The system will have you believe.
Mm.
And I thank God that I live in a revolution of self-care where we are diminishing that lie, that it is not arrogance, it is a need. And I didn't know that humility or ukuzithoba is a commitment to ukuzithanda.
Mm-hmm.
Because in order for me to yield to that green force, to that ignition from the universe that every living thing experiences, I need to use Tobas and allow it to happen. And when it is happening and I'm called to speak to somebody, uh, fill out an application, co-create with somebody, do things that I've never imagined myself doing, then I can do that because I have the humility, ukuzithanda. And if you are from some of our black households, ukuzithanda is pride.
Frowned upon. Yeah. Woo! Nantombazana, that's man. That the energy at the back is also loving yourself is bad.
Or
It's a
loving
bad.
yourself will make sure you don't belong.
Mm-hmm.
There's
Will
not enough
ensure.
space for loving yourself, right? And that thing is so dangerous because over time it isolates you, like you said. It builds a
Yeah.
tower where no one, no intimacy, no life force of the seed can enter your life. And then you wonder why there is no growth and stagnancy. Because baby steps, you first have to start with the fact that what is yielding for you is love, and you can do it. Stop this fear thing. Stop this second guessing thing. Stop allowing these voices to be the thing that's in command. What
Mm.
is in command is what is yielding, is the flower that is going to come out of the other side. And it is in your obedience to that thing that you show humility.
Yeah.
My mind is
Yeah.
blown.
I'm even now trying to find the definition of allowing. Allowing. What is allowing? What is to allow? Because what is to allow is to ukuzithoba. And all my notes are in the very phone that I'm looking at right now. But
Pause.
really, everything that, for example, has been said in this book, in the Bible, in so many things, in the Course in Miracles, all it says is that allowing is basically removing anything that creates a resistance for the true electricity that is due to flow. It's
Right.
like switching off the light because as electricity is always flowing. When the light is on, it's because there are no constrictors to the flow of the electricity. And when it's off, it's not that the electricity no longer exists, it's just that there is now a block to the electricity to flow.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm.
that pride is that block that doesn't allow the life force, the love, the joy to flow. It's not that the joy disappears or the love disappears. It's that now we're no longer allowing the love and the joy to flow within our lives. And we then confirm to ourselves or justify to ourselves why the flow of love is no longer there anymore. It's because I'm this. It's because she said that. It's because the economy is going through this. It's because God hates me. Fill in the blanks. There are many ways that pride can be dressed up as, but at the end of the day, it's whatever is blocking or anchoring you in a way that doesn't allow your freedom to flow. Freedom,
Yeah. Yeah.
the freedom is there.
Freedom is readily available. It's there. Freedom is there.
Are you gonna focus on the light switch with your words and your focus, or are you gonna switch on the light and allow the electricity to flow and not have a what if one day this electricity doesn't flow and oh my gosh, let me actually let
What if
me
it's too late? What if it's too late to let
what?
the electricity flow?
It's gonna burn me, it's
It's
gonna kill me.
always going to be there. It's always going to be there. Love is energy. It cannot be created nor destroyed. It is always going to. And I think one thing I was journaling about is that it's changed the way I do New Year goals or things I want to achieve. I think my mindset now is, let me find those resistances to this electricity, to this love. Let me identify what is the resistor that I didn't realize is a resistor, because I find that work is more interesting. I find that it's more interesting than being goal orientated, because I'm trying to get to somewhere, whereas this one is I'm trying to remove roadblocks because I am where I'm supposed to be anyway.
I'm in the
Not,
miracle.
there's no destination. I'm in the destiny. I'm in the winning. I've won. I've already achieved it. I'm there. What is helping me resist this truth, and what is it here to teach me, is where I'm at, right? One of the words I've chosen for January is magnetism. Is now I just need to find out what is the resistance that's blocking my magnetism. Not that I want to become magnetic.
You are.
I am magnetic. I need to find these illusions that are stopping the natural flow of things towards me. And what can I do to do that? How can I collaborate with those resistance? Not fight them, not try to cancel them or destroy them, but to collaborate, to say, oh, are you here to show me that? Oh, what's up, homie? Let's do this together. And I would implore anyone who's in a small business or a project or a dream or something they've sat on for years and years and years to look at the resistance blocks, because that's the juicy part. That's the part of growth. That's the part where you realize, oh, that's me. Oh, I made a decision about that, right? Because as much as they say the age of Aquarius is going to be scary and revolutionary, it's a second chance for humanity to, what does Martha Beck say? Pre-remember. To do the work before the remembering starts, so you can hold the remembrance, right? To prepare the space, you know, to shanyena man, so that when the gems arrive, when the green force makes its way back to this thing you said is dead, that you have the capacity to see it and to hold it as well. It's a lot of work, but it's also the taste of freedom that I think yourself have never tasted before.
Or
so much so that I'm unwilling for anything to take it away.
Like before, it wasn't even a priority to want to taste. I don't know if I'm making sense.
Because you'd be prideful to want to taste.
You know, before the thing, you know, circling back, we are still talking about a business entity. Before, all that I wanted to see was success. Success being There's consistent cash money cows. I'm on stages. I'm at Cannes Film Festival. I'm on world stages and people know my name and and there's nothing wrong with wanting those things. The only thing that's wrong with that is thinking that those things will make you something.
Yeah.
When you are
Already
and
something. You are
full and
already everything.
yes, you are the great I am. And when you want a piece of China Mall jewelry to make you a great I am when you already are the great I am.
Right.
So as you know, my word is peace. The peace a child feels knowing that they're well taken care of and well provided for. Umntana doesn't roll around thinking about where their next meal is going to come from. They don't have those things. I want to have that childlike peaceful sleep of going, whatever unfolds is going to be so fun, so juicy, so joyous, so amazing, and is not going to be dictated to me by a bank account. Bank
Right.
account is no longer going to be the dictator of how I experience my life.
Right.
And that I was able to make an inanimate object a god. You know that God hates idolatry. That's why God hates idolatry. Because
When
you'll be
you guys do that separation, you believe that thing has more power than the power I have installed in you, and it makes you believe that you are separated. So much so that I would actually challenge you to say you have the childlike peace. The bank account is in the way.
I do.
Or the belief system in the bank account is in the way of that existing childlike, peaceful peace.
Is
Icon.
the resistor. And I'm so grateful to God that it literally feels like the veil has been lifted. Like I've heard that expression so many times. We've heard that expression so many times. I've never really experienced seeing the illusion for what it is.
Right.
Like, wow. Wow. It's insane our capacity to storytell and make a truth. Because really what the truth is a belief with a strong dominant vibration on it that then magnetizes like vibrational experiences, and then you look at the vibrational experiences of here's another January where I don't have money,
and then
as a confirmation
the truth. Then it's confirms. All right.
Or in January, we even have a word for it. But in because the truth is that akho money in January. That is an illusion, a big illusion that I even busted to myself last year. Last year in January, I bought a new car. Where did 50,000 rand just appear from the ether? Literally, it appeared from the ether for me to put a deposit in January on a new car. The same girl who did that suddenly now doesn't have money, cannot magnetize. Oh, I'm gonna fall. I'm gonna fall.
That truth is gonna make you fall, girl. That truth.
And that thing that I'm sitting on is 10 years old. It's from the set of Nazo when I could run. Like,
oh my God.
yeah.
No, yeah, the paradigms are being broken, girl. Let the chair break.
Literally,
let it break.
Let it break. Let it fall.
Yeah.
I literally just posted a thing now that said, I am willing to fall because I know the me that I know I will catch me.
Yes.
Something along those lines, but I can fall in peace because I know that I will be caught.
That me that
the me that
I am will catch me.
Will emerge and catch me. I got problem. I got problem. I was reading in my journal entry on the 2nd of December 2014. I said, "Oh, I need to start my blog, um, you know, and go on this journey with people, to keep me accountable." I said that 10 years ago, and here we are. I'm in the miracle. I'm
The
always
technology
in the.
even met you. There was no live.
There
IG
was
was
no
a
live. There was
baby.
no
There was no
Instagram.
live. You couldn't do this. You had to
Nothing.
have lighting in a studio and meet somewhere
Nothing.
and a sound person. The technology met you at your highest need and said, let's do this thing that the great I am
Cooperative
wants to do.
components. Corporate.
So when her humility comes in, she ready, Tina. She can
We're ready.
easily just open a profile with her finger. City.
Literally
What name
from her house.
do I want to be? What do I want to be known as? Oh my God. That's how much power awaits us. That's
That's how
just in
much
the
we're
waiting
provided for.
room.
That people
Yes,
will invent things for on your behalf.
for you. For
For
you.
you. Mark Zuckerberg will create things for you, for things that you asked to happen. That's how much
Right.
love is available to us.
And this is why we must praise, right? So going back to just rounding up what you were saying, what Rumi in that poem is trying to teach us, that praise is the acknowledgement of exactly that. It is the acknowledgement that I am a part of all that is. I have ngumtu ke. And what a miracle. Let's sing. Askieni. Let's shout. Let's,
Celebrate.
bruh, make a noise because I am here with all this insurmountable power. And I was like, okay, Lord, you know what? I'm going to practice that for the days of my life because I finally want to taste this thing that I am. I want to, as you said in the meeting, to finally profit from it, to finally allow it to build this life for me as this personality in this time space continuum. I want that. And I've experienced it before.
Mhm. I'm
So I want
experiencing it
that. I
now.
designed I'm experiencing it now.
Now.
Right now.
Right
Right
now. In
now.
fact, I would challenge you to say that let's stop pretending like we don't have taste buds. Let's
Yeah,
stop
no, we have taste that we can.
let's stop pretending as not taste buds, guys. All the juiciness is here. It's not coming, it's here. It is here. You know, one of our scriptures here at Rainbow is Isaiah 54, I think. And the opening line of Isaiah 54 is, "Sing, O barren woman, you who have never had children. You will have more than all those childbearing
Yes.
women."
Mm.
And then it goes on to say that start preparing, build the tent, clear the land, drive the tent pegs deep. You're going to need a lot of room for your bustling, huge ass family that you're going to have. It's saying praise now,
Yeah.
because all that you have desired is happening. You're in the miracle, girl. Just
Mm.
because you're not holding the baby doesn't mean the baby does not exist.
Exactly. Exactly. Girl.
Okay.
Ooh, you know, we can talk about this until the sun is setting behind us because it's just unbelievably clear. And I think clarity is such a gift from God. Uh,
Mm.
it's peace. It's really peace. No one can take away the clarity away from you. I just, yeah, am for the first time creating a year ahead of me out of real gratitude, not the gratitude where I'm hiding myself or wallflowering and then I'm
The journal,
grateful.
the gratitude journal, they said you must do it
No,
so that I
real,
can have money at the end of the month.
exactly, real bold gratitude that's out there, you know. So
Mm.
we thank the planet, we thank our ancestors, we thank the beautiful Holy Spirit that is our Umoya. It's just such an amazing friend in
Mm.
this time
Mm.
of great, great change. And it's time. Let's
Yeah, it's time.
change.
It's time. as Ugogo said last year, the reason why we were feeling so heavy is because it's the end of an era and we're grieving. Guys. Now it's time to praise.
Yeah.
Now it's time to pay attention to ourselves. And by praise, I don't mean toxic positivity, guys. That's not what we're talking about at all. We're talking about really recognizing your magnificence, even in the moments when you feel small, even in the moments when you feel like you've let yourself down or you've been disappointed, or whatever the case is. That at the end of the day, though, you circle back to the real truth of how incredible and how much we need you as you. We need you showing up as your true, authentic self. That's all the world needs. You can die. All we need is you being you, your fullest, most outrageous, most boldest, most humble, most shine bright like a freaking diamond self. In all the duality that brings. And let's embrace that duality. Let's embrace endarkenment. Let's embrace that life is gonna come with contrast. It has to. It can't always be day. It can't always be summer.
Right. And the interesting thing about electricity, now that you say that, those of you who attempted physics, is that, you know, electricity needs resistance. To charter the flow or to focus it so that it's narrow enough to light anything, it needs resistance. It needs something to kind of focus it. Right. So when contrast appears in our lives, challenges, what, it's to centralize the light, is to make it so hyper-focused that it can light an individual bulb or a whole city. So if you did Ohm's law at school, you know that resistance plays a big role. All the science geeks, please, you remember. You failed it, and you know. So light needs resistance. They are partners. That's the only way we get electricity.
Our partners.
Yeah.
The things in your life that feel stuck, that feel insurmountable, that feel heavy, partner with them. Partner with them. How can we dance together? Because without contrast, we cannot create.
Right.
Without going through that thing and you go, I don't like being broke. I don't like it. It's not for me. And so I'm going to create something more expensive for myself. Cool.
Right.
But without the experience of brokenness, you wouldn't have that personal preference within you. And then, unfortunately, what we do is that we focus on the problem instead of focusing on the expansion the problem came to bring.
Right.
Please, can we focus on the expansion that this problem has made us aware of? Let's use resistance to our advantage to focus the light, like you're saying, Gudrun. Just to focus the light, man. To make us laser focused on our own incredible magnificence.
Yeah.
And I will leave it there. I don't know if you have other closing words.
Everything is out. Everything is there. Everything is out. Otherwise, it will be 8 o'clock and we're still, do you know?
Guys, thank you for your obedience to say, let me come on your platform. I know you're putting this as a monument to yourself, but Kutlana, you say it with your own little mouth. And it's
at 17, the voice. I said. Yeah.
So you commanded, let there be light, and there was light. And so don't be out here eating the fish when you said you're not going to do that. So we love you. Thank you, Makadzi. Thank you for your attention and your focus and your love, guys. 2020, so shall it be. We're already soaring. It's not that at the end of 2024 we're going to soar. The soaring, it's happening already, guys. Love you guys.
Love you.
Bye.
Everybody. Bye, sweetheart.